In this video, I'm going to take you through a step-by-step beginner walkthrough on the Keepa Amazon FBA product research tool to take you from beginner to expert in one video. I use Keepa every single day in my own Amazon business, and if you're brand new to my channel, welcome. My name is Miles. I'm a 25-year-old seven-figure Amazon seller living here in Miami on a mission to help as many of you guys as possible smash past your Amazon seller goals. Let's get right into the Keepa tutorial. So Keepa's about $20 per month, and you're literally going to use it to analyze every single product you take a look at on Amazon. I'm in Keepa all the time. We can start out on an Amazon product page, though if you are doing retail arbitrage, Keepa also does have an app where you can see the Keepa charts on the app, but we can see it's a Chrome extension. So you're going to add this. You want to go to the Google Chrome store and get Keepa, add it to your Chrome, similar to the way you use SellerAmp. I have a full SellerAmp tutorial on my channel as well. And now we can see when you have the Keepa Chrome extension installed on every product, it's going to show you these three different charts. Now, personally, I recommend going here and clicking the sub ranks box to take away that middle chart, because the middle chart's pretty much useless. You're not really going to use it. And then now we can see we have the top chart up here that has a bunch of different classifications up here and such. So I want to go through and break down pretty much all of these, right? So to start off, right up here, so this is actually the buy box on Amazon. So this is where you want to be as a seller. We can see this is the seller currently in the buy box for this specific product. We can see they're at this price point. You're going to hear me reference the buy box a lot, and nicely the buy box rotates depending on who's priced competitively and who has good delivery dates. I'm filming this on December 27th, so we can see the seller in the buy box currently has a delivery date just a few days out. So this makes sense why they're getting the buy box. We can see and go here and see the other sellers that are also priced competitively, also have good delivery dates. The buy box nicely rotates through here. So we can see these two charts right here. So I have all the options unselected right here. So to start off, the green line I'd recommend definitely having selected is the sales rank, which is basically how quick this product sells. So we can see the sales rank of this item over time. As a beginner, I would recommend mainly only buying stuff that's below 100,000 sales rank right here. So we can see not only the instantaneous data, but we can also see the data over time. And we can see that very consistently, this product is well below 100,000. It's mostly probably averaged out right in like the 40 to 50,000 range. This is a good selling item, right? Next, we want to have selected the buy box line, which is that buy box metric. This is where we want to be as a seller, which shows the pink line. You can see that the buy box changes all the time, and even changes literally intraday sometimes right here. And we can see the seller that's currently in the buy box, but much more importantly, the trend of the pricing as well. This blue line here, the new option, pretty much for the most part mirrors the buy box. You actually don't have a choice. This is a default selected option, I'm pretty sure. Right here, and then the third party FBA is this orange triangles right here, which shows the current lowest third party FBA. Now, a lot of people think the orange triangles represent that item selling. However, that is not the case, but the more orange triangles you see, the more that item is selling. So if you take a look at something with like a 250 or 500,000 sales rank that pretty much never sells or doesn't sell super often, it's not going to have a lot of orange triangles. But if you take a look at a product that has like a 5,000 sales rank, like a fantastic sales rank, then it's probably going to have orange triangles legit all over, like way more than we see on here. And then what we can also do is on this bottom chart, the new offer down here. So this is actually the competition on this product. So we can see makes perfect sense. On like early December, there were 40 sellers. Now there's only 5 sellers. The buy box price was 30 back then. It's up at like 47 now. So it's significantly higher. And that makes perfect sense based on supply and demand, that as the price went down, or as the competition went down, the price shot up, and vice versa. And as sellers, we want to be avoiding stuff where the price is going down and only going and taking a look at products where the price is either going up or staying the same, and avoiding listings where the competition is shooting up, and pretty much only sticking with products where the competition is stable or going down. Now, we can see the history on all these products since they've been added on Amazon. So we can legit see if something was added 5 years ago, Keepa is going to be tracking the data on that product over time. However, as beginners, you're mainly buying like 30, or you're mainly buying just a couple of stuff, right? 1 or 2, 5 or 10 here, right? Therefore, the month-long data, and especially the 3-month data, is most important, right? Especially when we're talking about FBMing products and such, right? So we can see that if we take a look at the past month, there's a gorgeous trend on this product, and that it had like 40 sellers. Now it only has like 4, and the price was like 30, 31, 32, and now the price is substantially higher. So I wouldn't necessarily want to go overpay for this and I guess like kind of underwrite it at like a 48 cost, but I would definitely estimate pretty realistically, we could get, $40 to $45 because obviously you do have to order this product and you do have to send it into the Amazon warehouse, or you can sell quicker if you want to FBM it, right? But it's really, really important to consider you're mainly holistically going to be focusing on the month-long and the 3-month-long data. And then over time, as you buy bigger quantities of different products and such, right, you're going to start to look more holistically at the data. And it's important to note, you're just going to build the muscle of reading Keepa charts over time, and you're going to get substantially better at this. So the cool thing is, legit, without putting any money up front, you can look at hundreds of products really, really easily just looking at my other videos, right? I have a lot of product research videos on my channel that break this stuff down too. And I also want to note, if you're at all worried about ungating big name brands, I'd highly recommend checking out the auto ungating list that I have in the description that has 100 plus brands you can get ungated in today with no invoices needed, right? So the big takeaways are, don't worry about these other ones down here. I wouldn't really recommend having those on, though it doesn't hurt. But you want to focus on the buy box price, the sales rank over time, as well as the competition, and making sure that there are positive trends on all of those, right? Because the key is there's tens of millions of products we can potentially sell, but only a certain subset of them are going to make sense. And obviously we have to find a profitable and such too. So you want to be focusing on sales rank, buy box price, and competition. Now, we can see over time exactly what that's gone for. You can see the averages here, which is pretty cool, which is, I think, is pretty helpful to be cognizant of that data as well here. And then this track product tab, I wouldn't really recommend worrying about this. This is where you can set up what's called Keepa alerts. This is a little bit more of an advanced tactic, which some super successful 7-figure sellers I know are really, really good with and such. I wouldn't worry about this if you're a beginner watching this video here. The data product details tab. Now, this is some pretty awesome data we're going to be able to take a look at right here. We can now see the averages of these different products over time. Now, I don't really need to look at this data as much as I used to, just because I have a really good muscle of reading Keepa charts now that I've sold well over 100,000 units and such. But we can see the bought in the past month. I don't love the accuracy of this data. However, it definitely doesn't hurt. We can see the specific fees, although I use SellerAmp for that over here, which is our product research tool. We can see the category. We can see the ASIN, although you could also pull the ASIN from the URL if you want to check ungating or just list that product, right? The real meat and potatoes and the good data is going to be here in the current and average numbers. So we can see the sales rank averages over time, right? Which is where we want to validate that this product consistently moves, because, we're going to take a look at some more seasonal types of items. And like, for example, we're just a couple days after Christmas, and there's some Christmas products that have already shot down in demand and that their sales rank has skyrocketed, right? Because the lower sales rank, the better. So there's a lot of Christmas items that legit don't really sell much anymore that were selling incredibly well just a week or two ago prior to Christmas, like paper plates and such that are really only Christmas specific and everything. But we can see this product has stood the test of time over the 30, 60, 90, and 180-day data right here. The sales rank drops. I'm not a huge fan of this data. Some sellers swear by it. However, I'd recommend not really looking at that data. We can see the review count right here, which obviously if an item's getting more reviews, it's selling. The buy box averages, this is very important data in terms of taking a look and making sure that you're going to be profitable over time. We can see this item we know is going up in price, so it makes sense that the current price is substantially above the 90-day average and such. Don't really worry about the stock counts. Amazon out of stock 100%. That's great. Although we're going to take a look at a product Amazon's on and talk about when we potentially may want to compete with Amazon. And then I wouldn't really worry about any of this other data, although the new off count average is pretty cool too. So that one I would take a look at. Right here. Now, this next tab is important here. So some people really take a lot of weight with this data. I don't want you ever looking at it. It's very, very inaccurate. So do not look at the data offers tab. In my opinion, without getting into too much detail, sellers can hide their stock count, and that really messes up like sold 30-day numbers and such. I would really recommend not looking at the offers tab. However, what you can do is, if you're going to do that, I would recommend you can see how long sellers have been on a listing. And this is a good place to find people to storefront stalk, aka take a look in there, storefront, see what else they're selling to get inspiration on different products to sell. And then you go out and Google those. In my seller tutorial, we go over that though. The Buybox Statistics tab, this is incredibly helpful data right here. So what the Buybox Statistics lets us do is it lets us see who's in the buy box, at what average price, who's getting the buy box most often and most recent. So now we can see over the 30, 90, 180, and 365-day data, although we mainly want to be taking a look at the 30 and 90-day data. Like I said, we now go and see who's getting the buy box most often here, right? We can see who's getting the buy box at highest prices here by clicking and filtering, right? I wouldn't really worry about the stock counts. We can see whether they're FBA or FBM. So if we toggle this top to bottom, we can see these are all FBM sellers right here. And then we can see all the sellers that have the FBA checkmark. Those are all FBA sellers right here, and their review counts. If you're a new seller, don't worry about review counts at all. A lot of people trip over it. It's really not important data. If you're doing what you should be doing, you're going to end up getting reviews. If you're doing right by your customers, that's going to help you get the buy box more, although it's largely inaccurate. It's largely not really that helpful, because when you're doing FBA, your product is just as good as someone else's product when Amazon can get it to the customer in 2 days. So it's a lot of the buy box decisions are just based off price and delivery dates, honestly. Then we can see their review counts. We can also see who's winning the buy box most recently here. So we can see there's legit multiple people getting the buy box in terms of the same day, just in like the past 48 hours here. We can see 5 different sellers have gotten the buy box, and it's probably at, vastly different prices too. Like we can see like one seller's at 36, one seller's at 45. Right. So when you're actually going ahead and listing products on Amazon, a big mistake a lot of beginners make is just listing at the lowest price. However, what's a lot more intelligent and makes a lot more sense is looking where the buy box is actually going, because you can see legit intraday, there can be big swings in the buy box price like we just saw right here as well. Another cool thing you can do with the buy box statistics is, say you're looking at a product that did really well last Q4. What you can do is go to the 365-day data and then filter and see who sold at the most expensive prices. So you can see the really smart people that took advantage at the peak. And then these people will typically have other good listings to go ahead and take a look at for the storefront stalking method as well. Here, don't really worry about Buybox use statistics. We can see Keepa as an affiliate program, whatever. And then like the settings, I wouldn't really worry about that either right here. So that's like the basis of the Keepa charts too. The Proc Finder is pretty helpful too as well, but we're mainly just looking at like the beginner side of things. So that's the basis of Keepa charts. Now let's take a look at some other types of products too. So now I want to talk about, in a way, that makeup product we just looked at wasn't seasonal with its demand. This product is a backpack and totally is seasonal demand. I want to show you how that can change over time. So if we take a look down here at the Keepa and go to the year long on this item in terms of the sales rank, we can see that this item was chugging along right around like 100,000 sales rank right here. And then right when August hit, the demand completely shot up and the sales rank went all the way down to like 5,000 right here. And then once back to school season ended, the sales rank completely shot up to the moon again right here. So it's really interesting taking a look at how the demand can affect different products, literally just seasonally, right? So like toys during Christmas, a lot of items will have the demand shoot up, aka the sales rank shoot down. Backpacks and like other types of summer or backpacks, like back to school types of products, pencils, Sharpies, etc. Sunscreen and towels during the summer, right? Easter candy during Easter. You'll see that demand can be very seasonal on different products, and that can be very advantageous to seeing how items have performed in the past as well. And then we can see, like, look, in August 2021, demand went from like 90K all the way down to like 10K. In summer 2022, went from like right in like the 50 to 80,000 range all the way down to like 5,000 right here. So it's pretty interesting taking a look at how the demand can change on different products over time, and you're going to leverage Keepa to see that data. Another thing that I mentioned earlier in the video was when Amazon's on a listing. We can see, taking a look at seller amp right here, that Amazon's currently on this product, and a lot of people will automatically avoid products, including myself in the past, that you see Amazon selling. However, there's a much better way to navigate those items. That's actually coming down in here on Keepa. And we can see on this product that while Amazon's on this and has been on it, that the new offer count is still oscillating in terms of third-party sellers getting sales. And we can further validate that Amazon's sharing the buy box by going here and hitting data and then Buybox Statistics right here. And now we can see what percentage of the buy box Amazon's actually sharing right here. So we can see and take a look that over the 30-day and even over the 90-day, we can see over the 90-day, Amazon's getting about 81% of the buy box. Now, I would pretty much only go ahead and say that this is actually fairly safe to compete with Amazon because the sales rank on this product is so good, right? However, this was like a 70 or like 100K rank where it sells a lot slower. I'd want to see Amazon sharing probably 50 to 60% more of the buy box. But we can see in this case, Amazon's sharing about 19% of it, but that's a ton of estimated sales to go around when the sales rank's so good on this specific product right here. So if you're seeing Amazon a listing, don't automatically avoid it. You want to make sure and take a look at whether or not Amazon's going to be sharing the buy box on that specific product, which you're going to use by taking a look at the oscillation of the offer count, which is a great way to gauge demand and make sure other sellers are getting sales if they're selling out. And then also going to be the data and then Buybox Statistics tab on Keepa right here. Another kind of funny thing is just to kind of show how demand can change throughout the different seasons and just different times is taking a look at the pool listings right here. And then we can see that this product, Amazon's currently on its buy box and right around like $50. But if we take a look at the all-time data, we can see back in 2020, there were people paying $200 like clockwork for this item during the summer. Yeah, June 2020 right there. And then we can see the same thing in terms of during summer of 2021 as well. Absolutely skyrocketing in price and demand and supply shooting down very quick. Like we can see 60 sellers all the way down to 30 and legit just like a couple months right here. And then we can see there were legit no one selling this back in summer of 2020 when no one could get their hands on supply. Yeah, it looks like people actually did pay like $350 right here too. And then what you can see specifically is that sometimes Amazon will take the buy box away, and then we can see there's certain times when there isn't a buy box here. Like this specific Glossier product right here, there hasn't been a buy box for a while. And then we can see if there's currently, yeah, there literally hasn't been a buy box since May of 2023, right? We're almost in 2024. A lot of sellers get really scared when they see products that don't currently have buy boxes, which doesn't really make sense to me considering we can take a look and see that the offer count on this product has continued to go down here. And that on November 21st, there were 28 sellers. And then legit, just like, a month later, there were only 10 sellers here. And we can see that whole time there hasn't been a buy box here. It's just this buy now option on Amazon. However, this item has continued to sell. Now, when there isn't a buy box, the sales rank will typically go up, which we can see. And in this case was completely the case. It was right around like 20, 30K when there was a buy box and the price was a little bit lower. Now the sales rank has consistently been in like the 100K rank range. However, these items still sell, which we can clearly see from the oscillation and movement on the Keepa chart right here too. So it's really important to not necessarily get scared when there's no buy box. You just need to make sure that item's still moving, which is making sure that the price isn't shooting down, which is quite literally the only reason why people wouldn't drop their prices if they were making money, and then making sure that the offer count and is actually going down, that you're seeing movement as well here too. A really, really important thing to be cognizant of when you're doing product research is avoiding products that have history of IP complaints too. So now we're going to talk about how to avoid and what to look for in terms of Keepa charts to make sure you're not buying listings that have IP complaint history. We can see this Balance of Nature product right here is completely popping off. We can see it's got 16,000 reviews right here. But if we take a look at the Keepa chart right here, we can see and take a look at the year-long data. We can see that this product has completely been performing really, really well for a while right here. But there's been several examples where the competition is normally oscillating along and then completely drops off to zero, which is basically the brand owner or the listing owner kicking everyone off this product. So I don't know why people are selling this stuff again, but when you see examples like this where it's like 20, 30 sellers, bang, down to zero right here, you really want to avoid items like that. So it's really good to get in a habit of anytime you see a product with competition oscillating normally like that and it completely drops off to zero, that's going to be the type of product you want to avoid moving forward right there. So we can see, although we can take a look at the month-long data, it looks like a really good fast-selling product. Pricing's going down. I'm not really sure why people are selling stuff like this when they should be using Keepa and taking a look and seeing if there has been big competition drops in the past. However, you always want to be taking a look at the year-long data right here. And then also what you can do is say you find a brand you're unfamiliar with and you're taking a look, like, okay, does it have IP complaint history? You want to take a look at a couple listings in that product to get the best data you possibly can in terms of taking a look at IP complaint history. Right there, we can see there's several examples on this specific ASIN where the competition has dropped off here as well. So I know what you guys are thinking, right? You're doing product research, you're watching some of my other videos, right? And you're saying, okay, these items are great, but certain items like shoes, for example, have multiple colors and sizes. So how do I actually go ahead and gauge which colors and sizes are performing best? So there is an element of logic to it in that like normal colors are going to sell best naturally. White and black, black and white, navy, blue are going to sell better than random like orange colors and such too. But there is an element of data to it as well. What you need to understand is that the sales rank for each listing is consistent across all the variations, right? However, the Keepa chart is going to be size specific. So each ASIN is going to have, each size is going to have its own ASIN, which we can see up here in the URL and on the seller app right here. but each Keepa chart is going to be specific to each ASIN right here. So on listings that have variations, aka other colors and sizes, there's going to be what's called the variations tab right here, and we can hit the variations tab. And now I recommend pausing this video and going in on your variations tab on Keepa and organizing your columns similar to mine right here, because what we can do is we can filter the variations by buy box price top to bottom, by demand, aka review count, because something that has the most reviews is probably going to sell the most, right? In the rare case, there'll be certain variations that are really, really new, as we can see on the track sense. Of course, they don't have many reviews right here. We can filter by demand, right, in the reviews, by price action, as well as by lowest price. Remember, we talked about the lowest price does not always get the buy box. Like we can see, there's going to be, and some items don't even have a buy box right here. So I like to be able to filter variations by buy box price top to bottom, by reviews, as well as by lowest price here. And then I can also see the offering out, because it makes sense. Stuff that's most expensive typically will have the lowest competition. And then I also like to have this new offering out quick view right here to gauge demand of different products too, because we can see, like, for example, like this item right here, this only has 2 reviews here, but we can see in the competition that there's really nice oscillation in terms of the competition going down, in that we can relatively safely assume that this product sells decently well right here, because we can see that the competition seeing normal oscillation. Right, and then for example, like this one here, sure, there's 10 reviews here, but it's been around for 3 times as long, right? And I don't see much movement on this guy at all. Now we could take a look at the competition and such, right? So the way you want to gauge demand is it's really important to go off the data, and that the Keepa chart for each size or each color is going to show the best demand. There is an element of logic though, and like the best colors are going to sell the quickest. If you filter demand, makes perfect sense that the white ones are all selling the best. Now we can see, looking at the new offer count here, that these move a lot. And then all you need to do is click open to this, and then you're going to be able to see the overall movement in terms of the Keepa chart. It's really important to note that demand across sizes really doesn't change too much, but the price action across sizes typically will for whatever reasons. Like typically I'll end up clicking open to a bunch of these, and we'd see, like a size 9 75, but then a size 9.5 is 99. It's like, okay, why is that a thing? I don't know, but for whatever reason, we are going to be able to validate that and take a look at the specific Keepa charts and see if there's any red flags and such, right? And so the big red flags are going to be like, obviously I peak in plain history, but Nike, there's not issues with that, as we can see from these Keepa charts here. And then it's like, okay, make sure the competition isn't shooting up, make sure that the price isn't shooting down. We want stable or going up price, stable or going down competition over time. As a beginner, you want to be focusing on that 30 and 90-day data for the most part, right? So you can gauge that over time. And then overall, guys, if you're doing this, right, just check out some of my other videos that take a look at product research right here and such. I'm going to put up the auto ungating video here that you can take a look at. And then if you want to see my seller amp tutorial, which is the other product research tool, our product research tool that I use in terms of doing product research, the profit calculator, take a look at that. I have a lot of product research walkthroughs on my channel as well. If you guys got any questions, let me know down below in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching.